In June 2024, the world watched as Tim Cook and Sam Altman shook hands on what looked like the deal of the century. Apple Intelligence was the promise, and ChatGPT was the brain. For Apple, it was a lifeline to catch up in an AI race they were losing. For OpenAI, it was a gateway to 1.5 billion active iPhones, a distribution channel that no amount of marketing money could buy. But today, less than 2 years later, that marriage is in ruins. On May 14, 2026, bombshell reports from Bloomberg and Reuters confirmed that OpenAI has officially retained outside legal counsel to investigate Apple for a massive breach of contract. Sam Altman isn't just annoyed, he's furious. OpenAI expected a tsunami of paid subscriptions. Instead, they got a system that feels intentionally buried. While OpenAI was doing the heavy lifting to fix Siri, Apple was secretly dating their biggest rival. This isn't just a business dispute. It's a $20 billion betrayal that could change the future of your iPhone forever. I'm Harry, and this is the terrifying truth behind the OpenAI versus Apple war. To understand why Sam Altman is calling his lawyers, you have to understand the Google ghost. For over a decade, Google has paid Apple roughly $20 billion a year just to be the default search engine on Safari. This is the golden standard of tech partnerships. When OpenAI signed with Apple, they used this exact number as their benchmark. Internally, OpenAI executives expected that if ChatGPT was the default brain of the iPhone, they would see at least 100 million new 20-a-month subscriptions within 18 months. That is billions in revenue. But Apple did something sneaky. Earlier this year, in a joint statement that shocked the industry, Apple confirmed they are paying Google $1 billion a year to run their own overhauled Siri using Google's 1.2 trillion parameter Gemini model. Think about that. OpenAI did the work for free to prove AI could work on an iPhone. And as soon as it was proven, Apple handed the keys to Google. OpenAI realized they weren't the partner. They were the placeholder. They were the rebound guy Apple used while they waited for their real ex-boyfriend Google to get its AI act together. If you use an iPhone today, try to find ChatGPT. It isn't easy. You have to go into Siri settings, manually enable the extension, and then, even when it's on, you have to explicitly say, "Siri, ask ChatGPT." In the legal world, there is a term called failure of honest effort. If I sign a deal to sell your product in my store, but I hide your product in the basement and don't put any signs up, I've breached my contract. This is exactly what OpenAI is alleging. OpenAI claims that Apple Intelligence was designed to throttle ChatGPT's growth. There is no shared memory between Siri and ChatGPT. There is no access to ChatGPT's high-end voice mode. Apple basically turned the world's most powerful AI into a basic calculator that you have to jump through hoops to use. One unnamed OpenAI executive told Bloomberg, "We have done everything from a product perspective. They have not. Worse, they haven't even made an honest effort." When tech executives start using words like honest effort in the press, it's a signal to the world that the lawsuit is already written. But here is the twist. Apple isn't the only one playing dirty. While OpenAI was complaining about their contract, they were secretly building a phone killer. In March 2026, OpenAI finalized a staggering $6.5 billion acquisition of Jony Ive's hardware startup, IO Products. For those who don't know, Jony Ive is the man who designed the original iPhone. He is the soul of Apple's design history. Sam Altman has poached over 24 top-level Apple engineers in the last year alone. They are currently building a screenless AI companion, a device designed to make the iPhone obsolete. Imagine a device that sits in your pocket, hears everything, and manages your life without you ever looking at a screen. If this device works, the App Store, Apple's $80 billion a year golden goose, dies. Apple realized that OpenAI wasn't just a partner. They were a parasite using Apple's users to train an AI that would eventually kill the iPhone. So, Apple buried ChatGPT to protect their own future. It's a circular war of survival. If you think OpenAI is too small to sue Apple, think again. Just last week on May 18, 2026, Sam Altman won the biggest legal battle of his life. Elon Musk sued OpenAI for betraying its mission, and after a high-stakes trial in Oakland, a jury found Altman and OpenAI not liable on all counts. This victory was a massive adrenaline shot for OpenAI. They proved they can win against the richest man in the world. They proved their contracts are ironclad, and they are now heading toward a $1 trillion IPO later this year. Sam Altman is no longer the startup kid. He is a battle-tested CEO who knows that in 2026, the company that owns the brain of the world wins. He doesn't need Apple anymore. He has the hardware coming, he has the legal wins, and he has the most powerful AI on the planet. This lawsuit isn't just about money, it's about dominance. It's OpenAI telling Apple, "We don't work for you anymore." So, what does this mean for you? If this lawsuit goes through, expect a divorce. We could see ChatGPT pulled from iOS as early as the next update. Apple will likely pivot entirely to Google Gemini, making the iPhone the world's most expensive Android Lite device. But the bigger question is, who do you trust? Do you trust Apple, the company that protects your privacy but limits your technology? Or do you trust OpenAI, the company that gives you the future but wants to replace the devices you love? The Apple intelligence dream is dead. The war for the next decade of tech has just begun. Let me know in the comments, are you Team Apple or Team OpenAI? And if ChatGPT disappears from your iPhone tomorrow, would you switch to a different phone? I'm Harry from Harry News TV. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the collapse of the tech titans. I'll see you in the next one.